This, my fellow classmates and Professor Slaughter, is my notebook. It has helped me express my feelings in a healthy way and made me a stronger person altogether, when no one was around for me. I've written in a notebook since the 5th grade once a week up until I started college. I realized that this notebook helped me more than I knew. It had become my best friend. I bought my notebook 8 years ago. I purchased my first journal because my therapist told me at the time that I needed a healthy way to get down whatever I was thinking on paper. I would write the family problems, friend problems, boy problems, and almost anything in my daily life that made me upset. I felt that writing was very useful, but I didn't know it was as useful as it was really until now. I stopped writing when I started college at the beginning of the year. I lost my first notebook and didn't see the point in buying a new one at first. Me and my mom became closer and started to talk about my problems instead of using the journal. I started to think that writing wasn't helping me anymore. I started to feel like an outcast and wondered if I was the only college student still having these problems. I didn't think that writing was the answer. I thought that in college I could find good people to help me change and finally be happy. I was wrong. I was ready to start writing again and bought a new journal, this one. My parents recently divorced a year and a half ago and it brought back a lot of unhappiness. This is when I realized I really needed to write again. I feel that it was a good way for me to express my feelings weekly and help me in the long run. Even though I didn't feel hugely better after a journal entry, I felt it over a month's period. I bought this notebook from a small store over by my house in Virginia Beach about 2 months ago. After I purchased it, I rushed home and started to gather all my thoughts about what I was going to write in this book. As I sat down, I didn't stop writing for over an hour and filled up 9 pages. I wrote so fast that all my thoughts were all over the place, and I ended up writing things out of order, but it made sense on paper. My mother walked in on me writing in this journal and asked if I was okay. I was crying by the time she came in. The notebook was filled with teardrops all over the pages. My mother and me had no idea how sad I was, and that I was actually in fact super depressed. I couldn't believe the things I said, and after an hour-long crying writing, I did feel better. After this happened, I reached out for help. I went to my father recently, and he didn't take me very seriously. He said that everyone has problems and maybe that my medication wasn't right. I called my therapist that I see now and talked to her personally and asked her if I could see her 3 times a week now instead of 2 times a week. She said that she could fit me in within the next couple weeks since it was such short notice. She told me that the next opening was in a month, that she would be happy to see me then. She finally listened after I started, I went to my mother last. She listened after I started to cry and stressed that I needed to start writing in my journal again. I started to think that no one cared. I could finally feel myself getting more and more depressed, even though there were people around me trying to help. I knew that if I didn't try to help and write in this journal, no one would. Although I have no friends either that I trusted, my notebook was always there. I started to write once or twice a week starting 2 months ago. Writing in this often helped me express a bad grade I had gotten or an argument or just any thoughts that I had about myself. It helped me with my anxiety that I had. It made me think more highly of myself. This step of integration works best if you can also talk to a therapist who can help you to identify ways of using this journal exercise to reduce your anxiety in real life. Tom Braisley, doctor, licensed family therapist in California. It helped me get over my parents' recent divorce. I felt like I was making progress moving forward in this hard situation. Also, it helped with my constant depression. Once these problems were written on paper, I could clearly see that they had happened to me. It made me face them. Keeping a journal is a good way to start coping with depression, says Jesse Grimman, PhD, Executive Director of the Center for Advancement of Health in Washington. It's not aggressive, it's something you can do by yourself, and it gives you the chance to see your feelings in black and white and then make plans to do something about them. If I hadn't bought this notebook, I wouldn't be as far in life as I am today. Randomly, whenever I feel down, I look back when I wrote a journal entry that was hard for me. I see that I have overcome the situation, and can still move forward. Also, I will look back at happy entries that I've made and remind myself that I have had amazing happy days and that it can happen again. I have more self-confidence due to my writing. I can keep looking back at my writing, and it helps me know how strong of an individual I am, and that I don't need anyone anymore to overcome my struggles. It shows me that I can become a therapist, my dream job, and it gives me the strength to reach out to others who have problems and be a friend to people I do not know. Overall, I am a well-rounded person. My thoughts are clear, and the things that I've started to make more sense. My thoughts are clear. It makes me have more of an opinion when a topic comes up in class or conversation. I know more of who I am about myself. This notebook was the only thing there for me. I feel that people always put themselves first, and this notebook always put me first. I used to judge myself for having to write down my problems. I thought that I was a loser for doing so. But what I've learned over time is that this notebook is one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I've poured my heart and soul into this thing, and I feel that it has done the same for me. It has let me express what I am comfortable with, and it's always there to listen like a person. If I hadn't started writing again today, I wouldn't know who I am as much as I do today.